Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I am your host, Josh, and with me is my co-host here.
It's your boy Nick.
And we got Elijah back again with us. He's with us yesterday. Had that great show yesterday with Chill. How you doing there, Elijah?
Pretty good. Just trying to figure out this whole streaming thing, get Discord working. I'm a novice to Discord. I got, my camera system set up with my iPhone propped up on a speaker next to some paint cans and got my AirPods in. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I
That's
yeah.
how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I know the struggle, man. When I started doing this stuff and doing everything and trying to figure out this audio shit and what worked and what didn't work, and especially with Macs, it's a whole process, and yeah, it's because Macs you got to do three things to do the one thing a PC could just do already, and then you got to figure out all the workarounds and look it up. So yeah,
Gotta,
it's definitely
gotta download a whole bunch of different apps in order to get the shit working right.
Yeah, and then sometimes Mac, and then they upgrade, install an update, so the program that used to work doesn't work anymore. So then you got to find a new program. It's like Jesus Christ. So yeah, I know a
And
lot.
you reach out to Mac customer support. They just tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yep, that's every customer support.
Yeah, Elijah,
I should know because I work in customer support.
yeah, and then Elijah, he
Yeah.
works in customer support. He does the job. I asked him why my fucking bill was so high, but you know what I mean. He didn't have an answer.
Hey man, I work in sales. I sell you the shit. I ain't gotta tell you how it works.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that highest bill with then long ass wait times for customer service. Call them on the phone, like with Verizon. I swear
You get fucked, loser.
I mean pretty much,
It
yeah.
tells you get fucked, scrub.
Yeah, because
See,
I
the thing is though, man. Like even with us, even with employees, like we still have to wait on hold just as long as you guys do for our direct channels. to
Oh
customer
yeah.
support.
mm,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So yeah, well yeah. Somebody got to work on that. Somebody got to fix that. You know what I mean?
One of these days.
Yeah. So we got a good show for you people. It's gonna be like a short show, not that long, because we just have two reviews. Not much. I don't think any news to discuss. So we're gonna do a review for Karen. Got that going on the BET horror film, original film that we have going on here.
Yep. Move aside, step aside, Jordan Peele. BET's coming for that crown.
Yeah, trying to.
BET's coming for that crown. I'm sorry, I can't say that with a straight face.
They're trying to be the new masters of horror out here. Let's see. We're going to let people know how it did.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, it's like Jordan Peele, Nia DaCosta, Coke Daniels.
So we got that, and also Mortal Kombat Legends: Battle of the Realms. We're going to discuss that. So that's a movie that we got a chance to see also that we didn't get a chance to discuss yesterday because it was kind of a long show. It went on for like our longest show ever. It was like 3 hours and 40 minutes. Like it's one of our longest shows ever.
Yeah,
So.
it was like 3.5 hours nearly. The
Yeah.
single longest show that we've ever done.
Yeah, so it was.
It went on so long. I eventually just like sat in my chair and just started eating like chips and stuff, and nobody and nothing changed. Nobody addressed it. Nobody like even brought it up.
Oh, I didn't bring it up because I knew it'd be a good meme. I knew if I caught you get the good chip motion right there, it'd been pretty good. So yeah, so I got a good meme out of that. Clipped that pretty nice. All
Oh, that
right,
was funny. I saw that today at work.
Sacrifices I do for the show.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna do the first review. We're gonna before we get to Karen, we're gonna get to Mortal Kombat Legends: Battle of the Realms. So this is a sequel to the other Mortal Kombat animated film, Mortal Kombat: Scorpion's Revenge. Here you have another situation where there's another tournament head up by Shao Kahn, and Shao Kahn is one of the major villains of the Mortal Kombat universe. And you see a lot more fights in the tournament already there.
Like every Mortal Kombat movie, Outworld just is a sore loser whenever they like lose the tournament. It's like no, they're like that little kid that says, no, 2 out of 3. Okay, 5 out of 7. Okay, 7 out of 9. They're like that sore loser.
And so they're going to challenge Earthrealm to another tournament, for the Battle of the Realms to say get his chance. If they lose again, they'll, control, so if Earthrealm wins, they get a chance to control more of the realms and free them from Shao Kahn's control. Because what Shao Kahn does is, when these Mortal Kombat tournaments is kind of go around and kind of conquer all these different realms, because all these different realms lose the tournament, and so the champions, the Earth champions, have to stand in the way. So in Earth champions here, you have Liu Kang, you got Johnny Cage, you have Raiden, you have Sonya, you got Jax. You know what I mean? And you have other kind of veteran voice actors who are voicing the Joel McHale, who I think does a pretty good Johnny Cage. I liked him a lot in the last movie. I think he does a pretty good job here.
He was probably one of the best casted people in the last movie.
Yeah. And you have a nice audience avatar character, like how Johnny Cage was in the last movie. This one is has a guy named Stryker, who's the big audience avatar character who you explain things to and everything like that, of what's going on, what's happening. So just to get you guys' thoughts, what were your kind of general thoughts on the movie, and how did you feel about it there?
Well, the first thing I could say, it's a much better adaptation of Mortal Kombat than that live action movie we got earlier this year. I think this and the previous film Scorpion's Revenge, those are the two absolute best Mortal Kombat movies, and it really isn't even close.
Okay. And what about you, Elijah?
I still think the Mortal Kombat 90s movie holds a very special, it holds a very special place in our hearts for all of us, for the most part. I think that one, in my opinion, still had a better plot. It paced better than both animated movies. Scorpion's Revenge, they try to wrap it around their headline, front of the cover page character, and they try to address his origin story, make him seem like a badass. The tournament was the B plot. Mostly his story was the A plot. And so following him was fine. I thought it was cool. I mean, we've seen the tournament, 6-7 times, different, kind of different ways and different flavors for years now. So to follow him and see his kind of journey was pretty dope. I do feel like this movie got very confusing. They tried to cram too much all at once. We had what was going on with Sub-Zero. We had what was going on with the Linkway. We had everything that was going on with another Mortal Kombat villain from Mortal Kombat 4. You know what I'm talking about? Plus the MacGuffins that Mortal Kombat always has, the Infinity Stones that they have, as well as the main tournament, and then everything going on with Raiden and Liu Kang's dynamic. And so if they had to trend some of that stuff off, not all that had to be in the movie. It wasn't necessary. They try to make Scorpion still have a key role of giving him scenes and following him and Sub-Zero at the same time. But between that, the tournament, and another bad guy villain, I was like, okay, this is rushed. It doesn't make sense. And what they do with some of the fighting and the stakes in the fighting and how people get hurt, or how some get injured or may even die and things like that, I thought it was not. It didn't entertain me as much as the games and the cutscenes did. If you guys watched 10 and 11, even 9, so.
Okay, it's an interesting point. Yeah. So with the kind of subplots, they have kind of an A and B story here. So with Sub-Zero, so it's not the Sub-Zero from the last movie because he died. So there's another Sub-Zero.
And that's a classic Mortal Kombat story. The Sub-Zero in the first movie, Bi-Han, and now it's Kuai Liang.
Yeah, so there's
who is Bi-Han's brother.
So he takes up the reins and becomes the new Sub-Zero. So of course he's on a mission of revenge against Scorpion to avenge his brother's death after Scorpion again comes back from the afterlife. And then they're kind of dealing with kind of these new robots. You have Cyrex, kind of the two people know from the Mortal Kombat universe. They're fighting them as well. Who can?
The red and the yellow robot guys.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And
mustard and ketchup. Yep.
Yep, mustard and ketchup. Yeah, you have them kind of coming back and them kind of fighting there. So when you say there's kind of too much going on, I think there's maybe kind of a good balance between everything, kind of going on, like, let's cut to here when kind of some of the dull moments happen in A, and then let's cut to here with the B storyline, and then when the B storyline kind of calms down, let's go cut back to A. And of course, in Mortal Kombat fashion, the violence is definitely here, ratcheted up. It's not often that I see a cartoon involving violence where I wince, you know what I mean? Like, it's actual real people going on, you know what I mean? Because it gets pretty brutal a lot, you know what I mean? Which is, custom to the Mortal Kombat universe.
Yeah. Yeah, they do it. They did it a bit in Scorpion's Revenge with that thing at the games where you have that X-ray and you see bones shattering, you see organs like getting crushed. They do it a lot more here.
Yeah.
Which arguably that's the better parts of the movie. Those were like the only thing of the movie that I'm like, this is what I came here to see. I want to see these fatal blows. I want to see these X-rays. I want to see these, critical strikes on people. And even though like we know it's Mortal Kombat in the games, so we know like they're gonna stand back up perfectly and keep on fighting and keep using the same arm that somebody just broke. But people get their rib cage smashed in. At one point, one of the characters gets their spine, like it shatters and crumbles, and he just gets back up 10 minutes 10 minutes later. I'm like, okay.
Well, I think that's just a thing from the games. It's like one of those things. Don't think about this too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's people know from the games, like MKX and everything like that. Yeah, MK11.
I mean, this film made Ultra Instinct Shaggy canon. So,
which is the greatest meme ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yes, that clip of Shaggy reaching out and grabbing Scorpion that you've probably seen online, it's real.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it at first. It's real.
Yeah.
That by
and
itself,
Matthew Lillard actually does that. Yep, that's that clip. The second that clip played, I was like, "Let's go! You already got me."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people know. Yeah.
Over here, man.
So that was Matthew Lillard who did the voice. Oh, that's pretty nice that he came back for that.
Yes, that was Matthew Lillard.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Warner Brothers had to make up for like whatever Will Forte did in Scoob.
I didn't see Scoob, so I wouldn't know. I did not see that movie at all. Yeah,
it's not good.
Okay, but so with this one, so like I said, the violence is there very much so. A lot of the character dynamics, is a little bit different because a lot of the characters met each other in Scorpion's Revenge, so now they have more of a rapport with each other here, and you see kind of a different rapport. Like Elijah mentioned, between Raiden and Liu Kang, how Liu Kang is kind of more questioning Raiden's decisions, his actions, things he does throughout the movie. And Liu Kang, he's one of the main protagonists of the series of Mortal Kombat. He's the champion of Earthrealm, kind of the, generic kind of hero monk kind of character here. That you see, so he's kind of that. In every fighting game, they almost have a Bruce Lee-esque character. Like if you look at any fighting game, they have that type of character. Like in Street Fighter, what's that character's name? Who's like the Bruce Lee ripoff in Street Fighter? I forgot the character.
Oh, fucking
Fei Long is the character's name. Yeah, Fei Long, who's kind of
Fei Long. Tekken's got like a martial law.
Yep. So you kind of have that character. So he's that type of character here. Liu Kang is the morally just character. You know what I mean? Very Captain America-esque type guy. He always makes the right decision. Is always kind of morally good.
The chosen one.
Yeah, the chosen one.
Which is something that I think. Yeah, which is something that I think the first movie, it did right by not focusing on him too much and having Scorpion be the protagonist.
Yeah,
because I think you could fall into that that kind of just generic chosen one storyline that I felt they did here.
Yeah, because the movie opens up with Liu Kang's whole backstory and his history. Because it opens up with his parents. He had kind of like a Batman origin story a little bit. Both his parents were killed.
And the way they killed his parents, that shit's fucked.
Yeah, I mean, he had
we didn't really explain that. So the Tarkatans came out of nowhere, and Raiden just so happened to save them. So I know he kind of watches over all of Earthrealm. So anytime creatures or beings from like another dimension kind of pop out, I guess he is like, I'd say maybe the Green Lantern or maybe the Doctor Strange of like anytime somebody pops in that they're not supposed to be there, he's there to like take them out. But they never really said why they were there. It was just kind of like he died to outworld, evil gang members or whatever, and then all of a sudden I guess he became the chosen one because he was just like Josh said, just a good-hearted person.
Yeah, I
got
mean,
adopted by Raiden.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and Raiden came in like way too late. I'm like, bro, you could have came in way earlier. I know he could have came in way early. I know he was kind of seeing what was going on from above. Like he let both the dad and the mom get killed, and then I'm like, bro, I know you saw what was going on, man. And he just came in last minute.
I mean, I mean, I guess he was. I guess he was like a big Saw fan. He just wanted to see. You know what? Let's see how this gore looks before I like do anything.
No, he saw Dad whip out a butter knife. He's like, "Oh yeah, he got it."
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man.
yeah. Dad whipped out a knife and just like, all right, they got it. I was like, oh
He got one shot.
shit.
First hit, he was done.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So I thought that. I mean, yeah. So this movie kind of more focuses on Liu Kang, kind of his story, and kind of following him as opposed to like Johnny Cage, who was more kind of the audience avatar character you had in kind of Scorpion's Revenge, and I mean, the movie was more about Scorpion, his whole backstory, the opening with him, and kind of his whole backstory. So I thought that was kind of interesting. They more focused on on Liu Kang here, and I think to Nick's point, he did make a good point. Of like I think Scorpion obviously has more morally gray areas. So his whole revenge story. Who doesn't like a good revenge story? You know what I mean? Going after somebody, especially what Sub-Zero did, killing his family and his clan. So he had like all this motivation that you wanted to follow Scorpion to complete his mission here. So Elijah, what did you think about kind of the swap there? Them focus on Liu Kang in this film.
I didn't mind it because I feel like you can only do the whole revenge thing, and then the main character who's out for revenge realizing like, oh, it wasn't the original Sub-Zero, it was actually Quan Chi, and I think they did take care of Quan Chi in the first movie, right? They took care of him.
Yeah,
they killed him.
yeah, they killed the fuck out of him.
Right. Once that's done, I mean, that's it. Like his whole entire motivation is wrapped up after that one movie. There's not a whole lot more for him to do outside of just kind of be there and maybe participate in the tournament or participate in what's going on between Earthrealm and Outworld. So I didn't mind that too much. Liu Kang is the driest character to follow because he is so generic. That is the most generic character, and that's how he's written. I mean, he I think Liu Kang was more of a sympathetic character in Mortal Kombat 9, the video game, because what was going on with Raiden in that game, that game's old now, I can spoil it. What was going on with Raiden in that game on how he got flashbacks to the future and kept trying to do the Doctor Strange and What If of like correct these visions he's having of the future and change the course of history. Liu Kang's like, dude, what are you doing? You're letting these people die. Somebody got captured. Somebody got killed. Like the whole temple got destroyed because you think it's smart for them to do this. And eventually he ends up fighting Raiden and he gets killed in that game, which Raiden as his mentor, as his god. It's nice to see that here he really was questioning Raiden more out of concern and safety. And I hate the idea that because Raiden's so used to being a god, that now him nerfing himself and being more human, despite still having lightning powers in his fighting style, he's brittle. Like he's so fragile that he doesn't fight as well anymore because he doesn't have his godlike powers. And Liu Kang's like, dude, you're out there getting hurt. Like the minute he gets a nosebleed, he's like Raiden, can you stop fighting? Like you're gonna get hurt and shit like that. So I thought it was kind of cheesy. I don't know.
Okay. You bring up kind of the fight scenes in here a little bit with what Raiden was doing. I think the fight scenes on this one, I would say I'm more impressed here than I was in the last movie. Because it's more of kind of the tournament stuff, so you have more kind of people going against each other. So here you have more characters, from the Mortal Kombat, that gets introduced, like people like we mentioned, the two robots, Cyrex and Sector. You have a Devora who comes here. And then she has a great fight with Sonya that's really good. And Sonya here is voiced by Jennifer Carpenter. People might know her from Dexter. She was in that show for a very, very long time. And then when Liu Kang has his big fights, the final big fight at the end with Shao Kahn, I think is really great. His fight with Shang Tsung is really great. So it's a lot of really good kind of tournament battles and everything like that. And to your point, a lot of these characters, they have these, you see these X-ray type of injuries. There's one where Sonya gets stabbed through the leg, but then I think even after a while, she's okay. She's walking around perfectly fine.
It's like the next scene, she's walking around fine.
Yeah, you know what I mean? She gets stabbed right through the leg. It's okay. You know what I mean? And you can, I guess, accept more of that in, because it's a cartoon. And something like this, I mean, maybe you couldn't do in a movie because like the X-ray stuff you couldn't really do in a live action movie because it look people would be like, well, didn't this person just get his arm broken and back broken and chest blown open and everything like that? So, you couldn't really do that, too much in a live action movie. You can do that in a cartoon and kind of be okay with it. But yeah, I thought the action sequences were much more improved in this one than the last one, and the last one had some good ones too. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, the action, I think it ups its game, but the action, it definitely is an improvement over the last movie. But it's a very slight improvement. The first movie's action was still fucking awesome.
Mm.
It was exactly as brutal and violent as a Mortal Kombat adaptation should be.
Yeah.
Just from the standpoint of being a spectacle, I was into the fight scenes. But what really took me out the movie is I have a big issue with power scaling and knowing who's on what level with each other. So, for example, you brought up the Devora Sonya Blade fight. Like, we all know Sonya can fight well, but Devora was pulling out stuff fighting, who was it, Johnny Cage. And that was a wash. Like, I know Johnny Cage is a joke character, but in the games, he's still like known as a pretty to be taken seriously fighter. And to see him get totally washed by a character, to see there's two other characters in Black and Blue that we know of that also got washed in their fights, and it's kind of like it doesn't feel like a tournament. It just feels like a slaughter. Like it feels like a slaughter of we got to get rid of this character for a spectacle, which was cool to see the gore. We got to get rid of these characters. Got to get whooped to make this other character look cool, and this is all leading up to inevitably the end final boss fight scene with Liu Kang and Shao Kahn. Everything else doesn't matter. The whole tension with Raiden doesn't matter. They're plot armor main characters. It's whatever. As far as them doing the X-rays and them doing like cool flips and tricks, some people get to use their ability, some don't. I know that Sonya, she did an homage to her Mortal Kombat original Kiss of Death fatality, things like that. That's fun. I do feel like they only let the coolest people got the coolest choreographed fights. The budget was spent on Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Cyrax and Sector, and at the end with Liu Kang and Shao Kahn, and everybody else was just kind of whatever.
Okay. Nick, what do you think?
I agree a lot with Elijah. I think a lot of the cooler characters, they ended up getting the cool fight scenes. Everybody else, it was kind of like their fights were a wash. Even Lord Raiden to a certain extent, especially considering the kind of needless subplot where he has to give up his godhood, but Shao Kahn can still fight in the tournament as like a full-on, like a mortal god. That made no sense to me. But it's also Mortal Kombat. Realistically, that story is kind of dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when it comes to kind of the power scaling and just powers in general of the movie, because like there's some people like Johnny Cage uses kind of like his shadow kicks and things like that, like his power there, which he didn't do in the first movie. I don't think, right? He didn't do that in the first movie. So he kind of gets.
That's what I remember.
Yeah, so he kind of gets that power and just he has it. So you don't really. There's not really a reason why he has it or anything like that. You know what I mean? He just kind of has it, and then. Even Sonya, she has, kind of a projectile that she can shoot out of her wrist or, her hands that she shoots. She doesn't have that here. Maybe she'll get it in the next movie, but she doesn't have that. So it's just kind of, weird because, like, some people have those kind of abilities and some people don't. Jax here, he's got his metal arms. He's using those metal arms now. He kind of only has 2 fight scenes here, really, in the tournament. He's got some other kind of little action scenes as well, but I thought Jax is kind of a nothing character in this so far for me. He's just kind of just there. And like I said, I think the most impressive fights were with Liu Kang and Shao. I mean, that's kind of the big money maker there is with that character. So yeah, I mean. Overall, I thought this movie was pretty solid. I think it's on par, on with Scorpion's Revenge. I think, it's you have a lot of fun with these movies and you do enjoy them. And it brings that kind of that stuff you see in the video games into kind of movie form, even if it is animated. But I still give it I give it a strong 7. What about you guys?
I enjoyed this enough to give it a strong 7 out of 10. I don't think it's as good as Scorpion's Revenge, but I think that movie, it's very hard to follow it up with something that's as compelling. I just think Liu Kang is kind of a generic protagonist to follow, but I think the movie makes up for it with how creative and violent some of the fight scenes get.
Mm.
I can see that.
And it's a fun quick watch. I think it's only an hour 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, not even 90.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a quick watch. Yeah. What about you, Elijah? Yeah.
If I were to give the Scorpion's Revenge a rating, it was a 7. And if we're all agreeing that the original or the first one was better than this one, I have to give this one like a 5. Like I honestly did not like most of it, and this might be just come from me to where like I'm not a fighting game person. Well, I'm not a fighting game person to the point where like I play them a lot. They're cool party games. Like I'll play Smash for fun with friends. I'm not competitive about it. I'm not gonna spend $60 when the game first came out to play it. But I love the cutscenes. I love seeing other people play the game because Mortal Kombat in the games legitimately has a good plot. With this one here, they try to because 9, 10, 11 were so successful, they tried to cram as much in from those games as possible into this, which made it kind of a sloppy, rushed, poorly paced mess for me. Jokes were not funny outside of Johnny Cage, and he was barely that good. I feel like him in Mortal Kombat X, his voice actor was much better timed for comedy. Love plot with him and Sonya literally made 0 sense. They had no chemistry.
that was kind of forced.
At the end, it was pathetic. They did Kung Lao dirty. He's my favorite character. They did him dirty.
They always do Kung Lao dirty.
Yeah.
For no reason. He's a legitimate fighter. They did him dirty in the actual movie.
Yeah.
That was some bullshit, too.
Oh, you mentioned about bullshit? Dude, Stryker. So, for example, you mentioned Stryker, Josh. That is a literal no-point character. If you take Stryker out the movie, what changes?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's assuming...
You'd have to kill one of the, A-list characters from Mortal Kombat.
Which they won't do. They all have plot armor. And it just, I guess, as threatening as Shao Kahn was, he was threatening just because we knew he was like the final boss, and like he could tank everybody's attacks. Like he punches Jax in the middle arm, broke. He literally stabbed Raiden several times with spears, and like he was just whooping everybody. I mean, as far as that goes, like he was threatening, but all this nonsense, because we didn't even get to the Netherworld. Like, the Netherworld was such a, why is this happening? Why does this matter? Where is it going? Boom, this happens at the end. It kind of made no sense, and it made the film more congested and me more confused. And it had to go hand in hand with the Lin Kuei plot together. And so all that together, they could have gave more time to the tournament and to maybe the Lin Kuei and cut out the extra Netherworld stuff. We probably could have used the complete 80 minutes of those two plots. It might have been a better movie. People might have been written better. We could have seen better chemistry between characters because things just happen just to happen. And at that point, I'm just like, I'm watching this for purely gore and spectacle, which is why I didn't enjoy the movie.
Okay. I think that's pretty good, breakdown of the movie, why you didn't like it and everything like that. So, I think those are some strong points there. And they do Kung Lao, dirty, like they did in the live-action movie, so... But at least, in the live-action movie, I have to say he's done better because at least he gets to kill somebody in the live-action movie.
He gets one of his fatalities in the live-action movie.
Yeah.
On another do-nothing character.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next movie. Elijah, you gotta head out, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna bow out for this one, Nick. I do regret it, man. I will watch this later because I'm curious what you gotta say about it. I've heard nothing about this movie.
Okay, man. All right, man. Take care, man. Thanks for joining us, man.
No problem, guys. I'm happy to be a guest any single time. Just let me know about a week ahead of time. That way I can actually get a movie in. I tried to watch Karen, but I was at work for 11 hours today, and as soon as I got home, I got stuff to do, and I was like, I can't. Like, I got no time to watch this movie.
Okay, oh, that's no problem.
So,
Yeah, we should
It's
bring
all right, no problem.
we should
good,
bring
it's a good problem to have.
yeah
yeah.
we should definitely bring you and the other guys from the podcast on to do something.
As soon as we figure out how to make this work, as soon as I get that to work, and
Yeah.
a microphone to work, we'll definitely get that going. But again, shout out to you guys, Afternoon Tune. I appreciate it again. This is Eli from Back to the Topic. Thank you guys so much for having me on. Shout out to people in Discord. Shout out to people in the chat. Drop these guys some subs. Drop these guys some bits. Let them know that you love them. Let them know that Nick's funny. Let them know that Josh has the best podcast out here on Twitch.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you, man. Take care.
Thank you.
No problem, guys.
Thank you, my man.
Take it easy.
Take it easy, man.
Have a good one.
Thank you for the follow there, G.
Oh, thank
Flo.
you for. Yeah. G. Floyd was a criminal. Thank you for the follow, my man.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Glad you'll be able to join us here. You're just in time for one of the best horror movies of the year. We got the BET original.
I think horror is a very loose description. Let's call this what this is. This is a comedy.
I don't know, man. I mean, Get Out. They tried to warn us, man. White women are pretty scary. Jordan Peele. He tried to tell.
I mean, when your movie opens with like Karen just scrubbing out the fucking Black Lives Matter on cement,
Yeah,
that's when you know you're in for some bullshit.
It opens up pretty good, yeah. right when the movie opens, yeah, she's got nice little black.
That's some mise en scène. That's some cinema right here.
She just lets you know already, right where it starts off, that you know what you're in for. You know what this woman is, what she's all about. Yeah. So here, you have this movie where it's called Karen, and everybody. Karen now has become like a big thing now. Due to social media, people recording, catching, women who go great.
Catching angry white women, usually middle aged, possibly with like 5 kids at home who have nothing better to do, calling the police on people minding their own business.
Yeah. And people think
more often than not, those people are black.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, usually it's a woman who has some prejudice or, something like that. Or, like you said, middle-aged white woman, kind of has the signature kind of haircut going on, kind of the swoop kind of haircut. And Karen has been a thing. I mean, it's just recent. People think it's kind of a new recent thing, but I don't know. I've heard about Karen's.
It's been around forever. We've always had like that joke about like the middle-aged white woman's calling, I need to speak to the manager.
Right. I mean, that's been a thing.
We've had that joke forever.
Yeah, it's just, I guess.
I think it's just in the like past year with like the coronavirus and the pandemic, and a lot of those clips ended up going viral, mostly because we've had jack shit else to do. Or I think the biggest one that in recent memory was like Barbecue Becky.
Yeah, Barbecue Becky. Yeah, you have all these kind of different names for these women.
That white lady with the fucking Terminator sunglasses, calling the police on some just black family having a barbecue in the park in Oakland.
Yeah,
and the second the cop showed up, she started acting like scared and shit.
Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of been a thing for a while. It's not a relatively new thing. It's just because social media kind of blew it up and everything like that. Kind of everybody's now using it now. It's become people writing articles about it, and everything like that. And also with the whole kind of Karen thing as well. I think a lot of it has to do with now, like, everybody's calling everybody a Karen. Like, people just, when something get on the internet, everybody just misuses it. So now they call every woman who gets angry a Karen. It's like, well, that's not really what it is. And they call this a Karen and that, and it's like, that's not really how you use the term at all. So that's kind of what happens when kind of that vernacular gets on the internet, and people just use it to describe anything and everything. And it's like, that's kind of not what it is and not what it's about. So that's kind of what happens. But so in this movie here, you have Tara Manning, who I heard is actually a Karen in real life. A lot of stuff she actually does in real life. I heard she's actually pretty much.
She was hardcore anti-vax.
Yeah, so I heard she's
and tanked her own career to the point where the only work she can get is fucking on BET.
Yeah, and people know Tara Manning. She was in the show Orange Is the New Black. She was the drug addict in that show in prison. I know. I mean, I think there were quite a bit of drug addicts in that show, but you know what I mean. She was kind of the white trash one in that show, the kind of the racist one, white trash one on the show. And I thought it was a good performance. I did watch Orange is the New Black. I did see it. I didn't. I never finished it. Have you ever seen Orange is the New Black?
I think I watched like the first 2 seasons, but beyond that, I haven't watched it.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a pretty good show, and she's I think pretty good in it. They utilize kind of her role very well, and people also might know her. She was also in 8 Mile. She was Eminem's girlfriend in that. She was a love interest in. Oh no, she was no, she wasn't love interest in that.
No, that was Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy was. Yeah, Tara Manning. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was another character there, and she was also in Hustle and Flow, as well, with Terrence Howard as well. So here, you have a black couple that moves into this nice suburban neighborhood, and that just automatically triggers the Karen. You know what I mean? She sees the black family move in and unpack and everything like that, and just immediately kind of death stares them as well. You know what I mean? Just kind of just staring at them across the street.
It's like death staring in the most unintentionally hilarious way, and something I found funny in the movie, she's the only one that's giving them shit, and this couple is just so attacked. It's like, did we live in a neighborhood full of racists? It's like, it's literally just this one white lady.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. And then, in the movie, of course, she's part of the HOA, you know what I mean, of, community and everything like that, of dictating the rules of the neighborhood, and she's the president of it. She has one friend who, I don't know, she looked kind of Asian. I don't know if she was or not. I don't know if she was just white or if she was supposed to be.
I think, I don't know. She looked like Asian to me, but I can never tell.
Yeah, who is, I guess, the liberal kind of person, liberal friend, I guess, who's, like, well, that's just racist. Everything you say is racist. It's like, well, she's everybody knows she is kind of racist. Like, the whole neighborhood knows.
She's not even hiding it well.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clearly overt, you know what I mean, all her racism. So it's just kind of just like, okay, everybody knows it in part of the neighborhood that she is. So it's like, I don't know why this is such a shock to you, you know what I mean, being on this HOA board. I don't know why that's such a... But a lot of people on the HOA board, too, like a couple other people, they are kind of racist, too. Like the other one woman who... the one with the kind of the turtleneck and she had the necklace on, she kind of also was kind of racist, too. So, that they also aren't kind of good people either, but... they're kind of just going like, listen, we can't really do anything. I mean, you're complaining about these black people. Okay, they left their garbage cans out. Okay. All right, there's not really much we can work with here. I don't know. There's not really much we can do. Try to, you know what I mean? Just leave it alone. We don't want an incident. We don't want anything to happen. And that's kind of what she progressively tries to do throughout the film, is kind of just get these black people kicked out of the neighborhood. She's stalking them. She's got cameras set up that are pointed directly at their house. And
every time it cuts to her watching it, it's like the most fucking evil supervillain lighting.
Yes, that's what you got to think, because this movie is directed by Coke Daniels, and the stuff he chooses to do camera work wise is so weird, because there's like a scene where this character sitting around, she gets invited to the house for a housewarming party, and then she's talking. There's other black people there, and they're talking all about it's like the dialogue is just like they just copied and paste Facebook comment sections.
The dialogue it's cut and paste from like a Now This comment section.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's kind of just cut and paste. You got the black people sitting there, talking about an incident, Black Lives Matter incident. Black guy got shot and killed by the police, and it's just straight out of comment section. It's like, he was reaching for something. They'll just kill you for whatever reason. And she comes in, and then she says,
well, bad things happen to people who don't comply.
Yeah, she says like, well, I have my family's law enforcement, and why don't you just people go back to where you came from and all this. So she says all the classic racist tropes and racist things that tons of people say. But the way it's shot is so weird, because it'll have her saying something, then the camera will swing back to what the other person is saying, then swing back to what the other guy, and it's just kind of, I'm like, why did you choose to edit it like that? Like, that is just so weird. And then there's one scene where two people...
honestly, man, who knows, to quote the Suicide Squad, who knows why bad men do what they do?
Yeah, because it's just a weird show. It kind of just gives you whiplash. Like, why are you swinging the camera that much? Like, Jesus Christ! Like,
This, yeah, I know we talked. I know we talked about this trailer when it first came online, and I think the most apt thing. This is if like Tommy Wiseau or Neil Breen tried to make something like Get Out.
pretty. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's super surface level commentary. About racism
It's
and
surface level commentary about racism, and it's done in the so like played straight that it ends up being unintentionally funny. I watched this movie last night with my girlfriend and two of our other friends. We ordered pizza and we got a bunch of beer and we were laughing the entire movie.
yeah, because it just a lot of it is just so comical in the way they choose to do things. Like you almost have to think it is intentional. A lot of the stuff they do, and the black couple. So the black couple, you have Imani, who's played by Jasmine Burke, who is, I mean, I'd say is really gorgeous. Very beautiful woman herself. I've never really seen her before.
Absolutely, but absolutely, I'm on her IMDb. It doesn't look like she's been anything that hasn't went straight to BET.
Okay, so she's a BET veteran actress. Okay, so she.
Oh, veteran BT. She's had like small roles in stuff like Ride Along or like Big Mama's House.
Mm. Somebody's getting.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, and Corey Hardick, he's been in stuff that's like more acclaimed. Like he's been in stuff like The Shy, All American. He's had small roles in stuff like American Sniper or Transcendence, Eastbound and Down. But it's always been like very small roles. I think this is like one of the first times he's been given a lead in something.
Okay. Yeah, and like, did you also mention like Battle of LA? Because he was, I think he was also in that as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was also
Yeah,
in
that is on his IMDb.
Yeah, Battle of LA. So it's not really any real recognizable names in the cast at all. In the kind of in the movie, you're gonna have it's like kind of like Tyler Perry level production acting as far as that goes. A lot of the people they're just kind of really bad. I mean, Jasmine Burke, like I said, she is gorgeous, but a lot of her line reading is terrible.
Oh,
a lot of her line reading is like really bad.
Yeah, the entire time I was just like, you want to really? That's the take you want to go with? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's yeah. A lot of it is like really like it's like she's literally like reading it from a cue card. Like a lot of stuff she says is just so like she is kind of literally reading it that way. And it's like really weird. And kind of like with this movie. So when you have kind of like one of these stalker, kind of movies, like something like Cape Fear or like a lower version like Obsessed or When the Bow Breaks or something like Intruder with
oh. Hey, don't disrespect The Intruder. That movie is awesome.
Yeah, and I had a lot of fun with Intruder with Dennis Quaid, but it was like it kind of turns into something else eventually. Like, so what I mean by that is so Karen is all obsessed with getting these people out of the neighborhood, but then it seems like she also is having BBC fantasies. You know what I mean? Like looking through the window.
That's what we were. Me and my partner were talking about when we watched it last night. It's like, is she trying to like get him out of the neighborhood, or is she trying to fuck him?
Yeah,
I don't.
Because
it's like BET's just saying, hey, Karens only hate black people this much because they secretly want to fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because it's really weird because there's a scene where at first her son is like looking through the window at him, like the him and his wife undressing and everything like that, and getting ready to have sex, and then she was like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?"
Okay, that scene, that's on them. They did it like right by the window. They didn't have no blinds, no curtains up. That's on them.
Yeah, I mean, they had no curtains up and everything like that, but still, I mean, you can't just be, watching people from your window. And he was like, and the kid was like really staring, like he was intense, like he was
dude was. There was like a cut where he was like reaching for some tissues and a bottle of lotion.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because he was like looking through the shit hard and through the blinds. I'm like, damn. So she catches him, and then she's like, okay, get downstairs. But then she's up there caressing the glass too and looking.
She's like,
yeah. I mean, it's like, so it's like
it to be mine.
So it's like, so is he trying to like like get with him, and then there's a scene where she has him help her with her car, like put in antifreeze, and then she's rubbing all on him and touching him.
She's flirting. It's like, yeah, take your stuff up in the washing machine. Here's the bathroom. And didn't even hide all the Confederate shit that's in the trailer.
Yeah, and like it just doesn't make any sense why, because when she first meets him, she won't even touch him, and she won't even do that. So it's like weird that now all of a sudden she went from not even touching them to shaking hands. So it's like supposed to establish how she's so racist she won't even shake hands with a black person. But then all of a sudden now she's like rubbing all on him. She's watching him through the window. She wants him to take his shirt off and come into that. It's like, okay, you're not even consistent in her racism. You're not even, you know what I mean, like consistent in that anyway. So I thought that was incredibly weird. And kind of throughout, she constantly watching him peeking. She's watching him smoke weed in his car. She's talking to him about that. And like I said, all the stuff she says is all overtly racist. And of course, some of this stuff people might say like, well, yeah, a lot of this stuff happens in real life. A lot of people, you will see that online, or you will see that in real life. A lot of people say, again, like I said, a lot of this dialogue is ripped straight from like a comment section you'll see on Facebook or anything like that.
It's ripped straight from like a Ben Shapiro or like a Now This comment section.
Yeah, so but it's just the way it's done is so incredibly lazy and ham-fisted and just terrible in a lot of stuff it does. And the camera work, a lot of stuff is pretty bad. Like another interesting camera, there's a scene where her daughter, like the Karen's daughter, she'll go help. She was some trash got knocked over, and then she's helping.
That scene in the trailer where it's like she's just walking by their house, like fuck your trash.
Yeah, and so the daughter helps her pick it up, and then it cuts. It's like when they're talking, it's another weird.
It's like a reverse shot of just like the most boring conversation. It's like, yeah, my boyfriend's black. My mom doesn't like black people, but I'm black.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't like you either.
Yeah.
Delivered with you think I'm joking, but it's delivered with that amount of emotion.
Yeah. I mean,
lack thereof.
It's just like it's also these super close up shots of their faces. It's like, I don't know why you did it that way, and all these super close up shots like that. I guess to make it more intense, I guess. And there's like a fight scene in this movie that's really bad. Like that looks that's really terrible that they have. And then as she's progressively as things ratchet up, because she also has a brother who's in law enforcement, and you learn with the Karen's backstory. Like a lot of these kind
of if you thought Karen was bad, like her cop brother, it's so exaggerated to the point where, again, like most things in this movie, it's unintentionally funny.
Yeah. For me, I thought
it's like, hey, that wasn't police procedure. It's like, yeah, but we got the brotherhood backing you.
A lot of stuff he does, super cliche stuff. I don't know. He's kind of one of my favorite people in the movie. I thought he's pretty spot on. I mean, he had the look.
Yeah, he was the guy. Yeah, but the most hilarious thing is like his character was introduced early on, and it's like Karen's having lunch with one of her friends, and her friend is like, "Wow, your brother's so hot." Huh?
Yeah, I mean, well, hey, man.
What?
I mean, white supremacy is kind of sexy to white women, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of hot to them, they like that, They like Nazis like that, white supremacists, they like that,
Yeah, you can mind comp in my pants.
But like throughout the movie, she also does Karen activities. She like calls the manager on somebody at the restaurant.
It was like whoever was screenwriting this, which, by the way, the biggest crime is that somebody got paid to write some of this dialogue and write this movie. But it's like they had a checklist of every single like Karen thing that they had to hit in order to make this movie. And yep, she calls the police on a bunch of black kids, talks to the manager, gets someone kicked out of a restaurant, goes to a party around a bunch of black people and just says, yeah, maybe you should just go back to Africa, or like all lives matter bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, she has the checklist of those activities she goes through. at a restaurant. I don't know, and if the restaurant scene, I know that the guy, he's familiar. People might know him. He's in the movie called Lorenzo Cromwell. He's from things like he does like sketch comedy, like on the internet. You might see like his videos go viral sometimes, like on Instagram, and I think maybe he was on Vine when Vine was a thing, maybe. But he's also like appeared in like things like Wild and Out and stuff like that. But he's kind of a comedian like that. I don't know. You know what? I don't want to take the Karen side, but that brother was laughing kind of hard though. I mean, he was laughing like
that dude. He was kind of like, just like keep it down a little bit.
You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean. I mean, all the
Also, at least wait till she's like out of earshot before you start talking shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
also, the most hilarious thing is like the manager wasn't even far away. She was like right there next to that table.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see how far the manager was. Yeah. So I was just like, yeah. But I was like, yeah, he was kind of like, everybody was kind of looking at him over next to him like, this motherfucker is really loud, like in that restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah, but you bring up a good point about how that dude, Cromwell, a lot of his background is in stuff like sketch comedy. That's what this entire movie feels like. This feels like something you'd see on like Funny or Die. This feels like a goddamn college humor Karen sketch. Even to the point where the end they're trying to have like this big rousing speech about racism, and they have just this one dude off to the side just playing the trumpet really fucking loud while this dude's trying to give a speech.
Yeah, so at the kind of, so like I said, things kind of ratchet up, and then there's as the movie kind of keeps going, it's all about kind of how they're trying to fight back against her and the racism, like I said, like kind of how these movies do, and trying to like at some point they're thinking about even leaving the neighborhood, and they're like, no, we're gonna stay here, we're gonna fight, and we're gonna kind of take action against her, and then that's when things start getting bad for her, and then things start to get bad for them, and at them trying to kind of constantly keep going at each other. But the ending is terrible. I mean, the ending is so is so awful.
Yeah, it's so over the top and ham-fisted.
It's like
that.
I mean, you can't be serious with that ending. There's no way you wrote that ending. You can't. You're serious,
y'all. My partner will testify to this. I straight up got up and was like, y'all motherfuckers are not this goddamn message in this movie. Y'all know exactly what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, like, wow, this is like this is not even good for like a student film. Like that would be good. Like, you wouldn't even be this bad of an ending if it was like a student film or anything like that. So I was like, or a YouTube video. Like, it's like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, I mean, I'll let you people watch it for yourselves, that ending, because it's just like, wow, Jesus Christ.
That ending, it's awful. This entire movie's fucking terrible, but up until like the ending, it's terrible, but in a way that is fun to watch with, just get a bunch of friends, don't bother paying for this shit, just like pirate the fuck out of this movie, order some pizza, get yourself some beer, and watch it with a group, because that's how I watch it, and it was the most fun I've had in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how you would want to watch it, having fun with other people around. So it's tough to rate something like this, because it's like, well, I was entertained at just how terrible it was, but it's not a good movie, and it's not shot well, it's not acted well.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm rating it as a movie, this is a fucking 0 out of 10. It's incompetent to the point of hilarity, but it's also one of the best comedies I've seen this year.
I mean, for just entertainment value, I'd give it just a 6, just on entertainment value. I mean, as a movie itself, I mean, no, the acting's bad, the script is bad.
This is probably going to end up on the worst of the year list, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't entertained.
Yeah, and like, I mean, Tara Manning, I mean, she's funny, I guess, as the Karen. I mean, she's not really, it's over exaggeration of what's happening. And the scenes, it's even more made kind of over exaggerated when they cut to her, like you said, these scenes, like there's like 3 or 4 different scenes where she's just staring into the camera or just lurking like that, you know what I mean, and just looking, you don't even know what she's looking at, she's just looking intensely at it. And and this dramatic music plays over her, and it's like, okay, this is so comical the way they do this, like she's all in darkness. It's like
I was waiting for like a fucking thunder strike every time they said her name, kind of like how they did in Young Frankenstein of like Frau Bruder, and then the horses just whinny in fear in the background.
Oh yeah, because they make a joke about her name in the movie, like it's a Karen. It's like, no, what's her real name? No, it's
Yeah,
no, like
Karen. Yeah, I know she's a Karen. What's her real name?
it's like, no,
Karen.
that's her real
Yeah,
name, bro.
Karen named Karen.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, you white women, they did you dirty in here. I mean, first of all, they didn't even give you a good movie. I mean, if they're gonna make you a villain, you know what I mean. In this, they at least gotta give you white women a better movie than this. I'd be raging.
They gotta get you gotta get like the Thanos treatment because this movie ain't it.
Yeah. And I know like a lot of white women have talked about the word Karen and everything, have been mad about it, and actual Karens have actually said, that's just such an insult to me, and everywhere I go people call me that. And yeah, so I don't know, try to do your best, cuz this movie is, I don't know, not a lot of people probably even going to see this movie anyway, so you probably don't have anything to worry about. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so for entertainment value, 6 for me.
Entertainment value, I'd say 6 out of 10. As a movie, it's 0 out of 10.
Yeah. All right. I think I actually kind of want to see it again. Actually, like I had a lot of fun. Like, I actually think I want to see it again, man. See
I had fun. This is probably gonna end up on my like, hey, I got friends coming over. We're drinking. Let's order some pizza and watch some stupid shit and laugh the entire movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So, we're gonna end the stream. People are gonna get out of here. Do you still want to do the watch party? Still want to do that?
You know what? Sure. Yeah, I'm down for it.
Okay, so we'll see that. We'll do our first watch party. So people, next up we got coming up, we're going to do a watch party for Camilla's Cinderella, which is on Amazon Prime. There, we're going to check that out, do our first watch party. Nick, where can people find you? Drop the links there, man.
All right, find me Twitter, Instagram, at Night and Day Nick. Follow Bubbles if, she'll be a good girl and come over here. And she doesn't give a shit. So you can follow Bubbles at Instagram at bub.bles0922.
Okay. And the Afternoon Tune. You can check us out on we are on all the socials there. Instagram, Afternoon Tune. We are on Twitter, Afternoon Tune. We are also on Instagram. I already said Instagram. Sorry. We're on TikTok at the Afternoon Tune. We're also on Facebook at the Afternoon Tune. There's Bubbles. And with
there she is.
With Bubbles has her very own emote on the chat, so you can go in here now. We got our own emotes now that we're affiliated that you can go and spam. People were doing that a little bit on the last stream, showing off, kind of the Bubbles emote that was made by Jenny Liano. If you need emotes done, hit me up, and I'll get in contact with Jenny. And if you want to do a Twitch channel and you want some emotes done, I'll give her a holler and get you in contact with her. So, yeah, TikTok, The Afternoon Tune. You can also send us an email at theafternoontune@gmail.com. We're on Facebook at The Afternoon Tune, and we have a Facebook group as well, the Nooners Facebook group. We are also, wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. We're also on YouTube, where you're probably watching this right now, more than likely. So we're on youtube.com at The Afternoon Tune. Drop a follow there, subscribe there, comment, let us know how you enjoyed the show. Also drop a review on the Apple Podcast if you can. Rating also there.
Yep. 5-star review. You would not believe how much that helps the show grow. Bubbles agrees.
Yep, very much so. That helps the show a lot. Also,
subscribe.
Also,
she's mouthing subscribe right now.
Yeah, subscribe. Oh yeah, very very smart dog there. Very very smart.
Yes, I trained her well.
We're also, of course, on Twitch at twitch.tv/the afternoon tune. You can check us out there, follow us there as well. Show up to some of the streams, check us out live, interact with the chat, get things going. So to all you good people out there, don't forget to always stay tuned.
Stay tuned.